Hi everyone, this is Alexis, Madison, and Laurel, and today we're going to be talking about sea turtle anatomy. So let's just start off with some different vocab words for parts of the turtle's body. So the carapace is going to be made of bone, and that's the upper side of the shell, as seen right here. The scute is going to be made out of keratin, and those are these little plates on the shell that's made out of this kind of stuff that's our fingernails and our hair are made out of. And our plastron is going to be the belly of the turtle, so the bottom side of the shell. And first, we're going to talk about some important structures that help the turtles do their job. So, land turtles can pull their limbs and their heads into their shells, but sea turtles actually can't. But this helps them give extra strength for their flippers that they swim around with. And their beaks are helpful for eating algae and other plants. And turtles use their papillae, which are a bunch of spikes in their throat, to help eat jellyfish and other small animals that would want to escape since they can't chew because they don't have any teeth. Their bony shells and their scutes provide protection from predators, and their flat bodies allow them to swim faster because it helps move around water more efficiently around their bodies. And finally, there's this substance called magnetite that's found in their heads, which scientists think help them navigate those big oceans. And magnetite is actually found in some compasses. So if you've ever heard that sea turtles make their way back to the place that they hatched in order to lay their eggs, this is kind of how we think that they do that. And next, we're going to look at a timeline of the evolution of the living sea turtle species. This is called the phylogenetic tree, and it helps us to see the different branches and see the relationships between the different species. So here we can see that the leatherback turtle has been around the longest, which evolved almost 100 million years ago, which is a really long time. And the other species began to evolve around 30 and 50 million years ago, with the Ridley turtles being the youngest species, but that's still pretty old. And these two diagrams show the size differences between the different species. So the leatherback turtle is around 8 feet long, which is really big. And if we look on the right diagram, we can actually see in the top right corner a 6 foot tall person, which is a relatively tall person next to one. That leatherback turtle is even bigger than that person. So that kind of gives a little perspective on that. And we're going to be going over these species from largest to smallest, starting with the leatherback. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Laurel to talk about those species.
All right, so the first turtle we'll start out with is our biggest, the leatherback. The leatherback is different from the other sea turtles because they don't have the hard scutes on their shells. Their shells are kind of thick and rubbery, which helps them dive down in deeper waters. Their carapace is 1.2 to 1.8 meters long and teardrop shaped. They weigh 200 to 900 kilograms, and they mainly feed on jellyfish, tunicates, and other soft marine invertebrates. The next turtle is going to be the green sea turtle, which actually gets its name from the color of its fat, not its shell. They eat seagrass, algae, sponges, and crustaceans, and that's what makes their fat green. Their shell has 5 central scutes, so that's going to be the ones highlighted in pink along the middle, and 4 pairs of lateral scutes, the ones that are highlighted in yellow on the sides. Their carapace is 78 to 120 centimeters long, kind of has a starburst coloration to them, and when viewed from above, their shell is kind of oval shaped, and they weigh 68 to 230 kilograms. Next is the loggerhead, which gets its name from its large head. The loggerhead eats conch, crabs, clams, and sea urchins. Their shell has 5 central scutes and 5 pairs of lateral scutes, and their carapace is 90 to 105 centimeters long and has kind of a reddish starburst coloration, and they weigh 100 to 180 kilograms. Next is the flatback, which gets its name from its flattened profile. Their shell has 5 central scutes and 4 pairs of lateral scutes. Their carapace is 81 to 100 centimeters long. Their shell is pretty round. As you can see in that picture, it's pretty rounded when viewed from above. Like you can see in the top picture, the edges kind of are turned up, and they weigh 60 to 90 kilograms.
Next is the hawksbill. The hawksbill feeds on sponges, jellyfish, fish, sea urchins, and crustaceans. The hawksbill sea turtle is actually the most endangered out of the 7 species. Their carapace length is 53 to 114 centimeters. They weigh between 43 and 91 kilograms. And then the hawksbill also has 5 central scutes, but 4 lateral scute pairs. They typically overlap and are pointed towards the ends, and then when you see them from the top, they kind of have the unique coloration to their shell. Next, we'll be talking about the olive ridley. Olive ridleys are normally found in Australian waters, apart from their cousin, the Kemps, who we will be talking about soon after this. But they are the smallest sea turtle species. They have a stubbier face compared to the local Kemp's ridleys that we have in our waters. But their carapace length is 51 to 75 centimeters. They weigh between 33 and 50 kilograms. And then they typically have 5 or more central scutes. And then pairing alongside those are 6 or more lateral scutes. The Kemp's ridley is our local Texas sea turtle. They mainly feed on crabs, shrimp, clams, fish, and jellyfish. They have a more pointed beak compared to their cousin, the olive. But their carapace length is 52 to 72 centimeters. They weigh between 32 and 50 kilograms. And these are the turtles that it's easy to remember. 5 central scutes and then 5 lateral scutes. Whenever they are juveniles, they're dark gray coloration with white edges, but as they grow up, that coloration kind of goes away. And then there are the ones that are mainly found in our waters that you'll see if you go fishing. So, can anybody guess this sea turtle? Go ahead and pause the video, see if you can figure it out, and then unpause it when you think you figured it out. It's a Kemp's ridley. So it has the 5 central scutes and the 5 lateral scutes, and it has that dark pigmentation with the white edges. So thanks for watching, guys.